my one cousin was at university for a program that he found out he wasn't really interested in after like 2 years. So then he went to college and did something he was far more interested in. And that's paid off a lot better. He's found a job and stuff that is in his field that he studied in college and stuff. But it probably would have been better if he discovered that quicker and didn't have to spend 2 years in university to figure that out, you know?
I guess from there, some people spend the first year or two basically just trying to figure out what they want to do. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't be that person. Take a gap year. Take 2 gap years. On that point, I was thinking a little while ago about taking a year off just because I was feeling really stressed, and I did some Googling. And apparently, if you get accepted to Harvard, when they send you the welcome package, the first piece of paper in it is a paper explaining why you should take a gap year.
A gap year between going to Harvard and...
Between going to Harvard and high
so
school.
that you should defer your acceptance.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they actively encourage you to do it because students perform better after they've done a gap year and gone, okay, yeah, I still want to do this. I have a little bit of experience in the world, and I can confirm that this is what I want to do, or then change to another thing that they actually want to do.
That's honestly, that makes a lot of sense. A lot of my friends who did gap years, as long as they were working full-time jobs, first of all, which they hadn't really done before. Like, they'd worked like summer jobs and stuff, but they hadn't really worked full-time for more than 2 months. So working at something, just like, you know, having a job for a full year is pretty good experience, first of all.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Working full-time for a year, you literally cannot have done that in high school.
Nope.
So that's a good experience there. And then also it does allow you to really think about what you would, like, if you want to do this, like you're thinking about if you're working in the field, which would be very fortunate, but a lot of people, it's very difficult to do. Like, if I took a gap year and I was working in physics, I don't know where I would get that job.
Yeah.
I mean, I worked as a production technician and there were physicists.
Yeah, it's sometimes hard
but
it's hard to get the actual job, but you can, I think, generally get something close or nearby the job where you could, like, at least talk to someone who has the job.
Yeah, exactly. So thinking back, if I had taken a gap year and worked at, I don't know, maybe found something like where I could be like just helping at a university or something like that, just like in a research department, then I probably would have been like, this is really boring. I want to work somewhere that's a lot more interesting. And then I wouldn't have. Luckily, it was still during my first year that I switched, so I didn't really waste much because all my courses were transferred. But I still would have known and had a little more money and a little more work experience and been a little more mature when I came to school.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like, it's so much better, even if it takes the same amount of time as trying to discover yourself for a year or two at university. You end up with a positive net amount of money instead of a very negative net amount of money to learn that lesson, which is a very nice bonus because then you're better able to pay for school if you decide to do it.
Yeah.
Which is a very nice bonus.
And if you don't, hey, you have money.
Yeah, exactly. You can just keep doing the job that you've found that you like, which would honestly be way better than deciding to go to school.
If you don't want to do it.
If you find a job that you like.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And you can just keep going with it. Yeah. That would be the ideal. That'd be amazing.
I think, an asterisk that I'm going to add to the taking a gap year thing is if you're like 100% certain that you want to do this thing, I'm not sure how, but if you like had a part-time job in it in high school, or you've just been around it a lot, you've done co-op in high school, maybe. I didn't, but some people in my high school did. And you've been like, man, I love this. Then maybe, like, if you have the means, then go straight to university, by all means. Or if you aren't going to do anything during your gap year, like you're not going to work a full-time job or anything, you're just going to sit around the house and play Fortnite, I don't think you should do that. I think you should at least get a job. If you're like, or I think you should definitely get a full-time job if you're doing a gap year. I don't think sitting around for a year has helped anybody.
Sitting around is probably not good. I don't mind the idea of like traveling. If people want to like explore a little bit, at least for like, a couple months, that would be sick actually. Like if backpack around Europe or whatever. If you have the funds. Yeah, no, that's true. If you have the funds, that would be pretty chill. That sounds pretty good. Yeah. I definitely encourage you to still at least like work for a couple months, like full time.
Oh yeah, working a full time job is a good asset.
Yeah, just get that little bit of experience, get that little resume booster. That'd really help you, because then you have a little bit of experience just being at a full-time job, which gives you a bit of an advantage, both
Yeah.
when you're looking to get a program and after you graduate, when you're getting an actual job. You know a little bit more about what you want in a workplace in general.
Do you know what we sound like right now? We sound like those two old dudes from the Muppets who are in the opera box.
Oh,
And it
yeah?
was like, these dumb kids nowadays.
I know, right?
Yeah. Just going straight to programs they don't care about. What are you doing?
We are speaking from experience.
Yeah.
I know, that is funny. Well, speaking as a young person,
Yes.
I know that it is very hard to say, I'm going to delay this by a year, because you feel like you're wasting so much time.
And it can also be difficult because, like, for me, it wasn't really like that because a lot of my friends stayed. But there are a lot of situations where all your friends are leaving to go to school. Maybe they're even going to your school, and you're like, geez, I really want to go with them. That looks so much fun. They're moving out of town and, like, into their own places and stuff. Like that looks
you
so
can still
cool.
move out of town if you want.
Yeah, like, but I don't think that experience itself is worth enrolling in a degree that you don't really care about.
Yeah, no. If you're not sure what you want to do, like if you're just thinking, oh, I'll do a general this or that,
Yeah.
just try and work a little bit, at least first.
Like, for instance, one of my very good friends, he wanted to go into music because he plays the viola and he has played other instruments as well. And he was like, all right, I would quite like to go into like classical music and stuff, maybe get in an orchestra if I could. So I will take a gap year, sort of, and not enroll in any post-secondary, but just get like music qualifications. So he took like specialized like grade 12 courses at a different high school that specialized in music that was like in the city. And he just did some music qualifications like that. And then at the end of it, he didn't have to pay because obviously it was high school. It was high school courses. But he was like, he changed his mind. He didn't want to be in music anymore because he figured it wasn't for him. And now he's in mathematics at Waterloo.
Okay. Sick.
Yeah. So that gap year entirely changed the course of what he was going to do. So if he'd just gone straight into music right then it would have been after a whole year of school. Then he would have been like, I don't want to do this. And maybe then even he wouldn't know what he did want to do instead. So that would have just been more issues. Shout out to you if you're listening and you know who I'm talking about.